spouses have been healthy and we haven't had to draw upon. However, we are all human, and this is the problem with our medical system at this point, or our insurance. We have had some high-need people, and our employees must have this kind of insurance, whether they have those high needs or not. We must give that to them. We have looked at, as a city, on how we can contain costs. We are looking at other ways to make them, to make our employees go out into the community, be careful shoppers, do some more healthy things preventatively, and we will continue to work on that as well.
Would either one of you like a follow-up? Moving on to the next question, we turn to Carmen. Yours starts with Kathy.
With the city's small amount of debt, how do you plan to take advantage of that?
Isn't that a wonderful problem? This is just wonderful. We have dropped our debt over the last 12 years by approximately $15.5 million. That's 88% of a drop. And so now we have the ability to look at different initiatives, to find out from the community, what do you want? What is needed? What can we do? I was talking to someone once and I said, we do the basic things in Hastings so well. We provide the basic governance and the basic needs of our community. Now let's look at the icing that we want to put on this cake. We've got a great cake. Now what are we going to do? What are those special things? Well, to find out those special initiatives, we will have to bring the citizens in, get your ideas. We can also look at some different positions that we need in the city that we have not funded previously. So it's an exciting problem to have. I'm looking forward to working with it.
Corey.
I think the city's in a good spot, obviously, with the debt issue. The problem that I see coming down the line is we've got a lot of deferred maintenance and procurement issues out there. The ladder truck at the fire department being one of them. We're about 8 years past replacing it. It was just actually broken a couple of weeks ago, and we need to figure out how we're going to pay for some of these deferred maintenance and procurement issues. This single piece of equipment is going to cost us upwards of $750,000. We need to figure out how to plan out and plan ahead for those kinds of things. There are other examples out there, from equipment at Parks and Rec to other maintenance issues. So we really need to be careful about how we start to plan, put a good asset management plan together, put a good maintenance and procurement strategy together, really look down the line at what we need to be paying for. From there, I think that we absolutely should be able to bring in the community and kind of solicit input. And I think we need to do that all along the way. I think we need to be careful because we do have some fairly costly issues that have been sitting there for the past several years.
Would you like to follow up?
Yes, I would. Speaking of deferred maintenance, it's not quite the issue that you might think it is. We have been very cognizant as a council and as our mayor to go through, and our administrator has as well, with each budget system to find out where are the areas that we need to be looking at. We've asked all of our department heads on an annual basis to turn in a, quote, a wish list on what needs to be done. We have met the priority needs. We have worked on that regularly. So it is not as if we've been allowing, never mind.
Usually in the local government, we're not looking year to year at budgetary issues. We're looking at 5 years out plus. So we need to get to a spot where we're able to take a look at what the maintenance issues are going to be 5 years from now, and the procurement issues are going to be 5 years from now, and plan for that. For us to get there, that's going to help us budget more effectively. It's going to help us make better decisions and be more effective with taxpayer money. So I completely appreciate what Mr. Duval is saying. I just think we can do a little bit better job of creating a strategy and planning those out years.
A reminder now to fill out cards if you have questions for the candidates. We will collect them shortly. We're back to Corey to answer first. Brandon.
What do you see as Hastings' toughest obstacle stunting growth?
Right now, I think our toughest obstacle stunting growth is really customer service down at City Hall. I'm on the Planning and Zoning Commission. I've seen some of the things that take place down there. I think we have a good staff, but I think that we can do things a little bit differently. One of the things that we need to do is really focus on hiring a development services director that has some planning experience, that has some AICD experience, that can lead the department. Another thing that I think that we need to do is I think we need to establish a well-functioning development review committee where we bring in utilities, planning, economic development, fire, EMS, and we can take a look at plans when they come in all at one time. We can have it recorded so there's no he said, she said on these kinds of issues, and we can move things forward. So there's a little bit of a perception out there that we're a difficult place to develop. But I think that if we just put a little bit more of a customer service focus on it, I think we're going to be in a good spot.
And I want to ask specifically, that question could be repeated again, because it's a little different.
What do you see as Hastings' toughest obstacle stunting growth?
Well, I guess it depends upon what you mean by stunting growth. And I'll tell you how I see it with my eyes. When I look at Hastings, I do not see growth being stunted. I really do not. I see a community that people are moving into, doing small things, good things, wonderful things. We have, I'm going to allude to the downtown, of course. I think it is a jewel that what we have downtown, and the new businesses that have been coming in, and how we support our entrepreneurs. I know that the Hastings Economic Development Corporation has a wonderful staff and a wonderful board of folks who work to be bringing new jobs in, but also to retain. And we're looking at maybe growth a little bit differently. It doesn't have to be in large companies coming in. There are small ways that we can grow. There's a vibrancy that we have in Hastings. I don't see it stunted. That's my view. I will work as mayor to continue those partnerships with the Economic Development Corporation in the city to ensure that this is as friendly as a community as we can have to make sure that growth continues.
Would either of you like a follow-up? Political reporter Tony Herman from the Hastings Tribune. Your question starts with Kathy.
As mayor, what do you see your relationship being with city department heads? And do you foresee making any changes to any of those positions?
As mayor, I would work with our city administrator. We can look at the city department heads at this point. No, I do not see any personnel changes. I do, however, recognize the fact that we have some department heads who will soon be aging out of, and they will be able to retire. Now, they may want to stay and work with us forever, I don't know. But my guess is maybe if we get to retirement age, they might want to enjoy themselves as well. So we need to look at those individuals and work with them, but I'm excited about meeting with the department heads, working with our administrator. Something that you probably know about me, I am not a micromanager, and that is for sure. I'm not a top-down kind of a person. I'm a person that tries to build consensus, and I would do that with the city staff that we have at this time.
One of the things I think that we need to do as a mayor and council is really set a vision and objectives for what we want the department heads to carry out. Right now, if you get out there and you start talking to some of them, I think that there's a little bit of a morale issue out there. They don't necessarily know which direction they're going or which way to go and how to accomplish what they're trying to do. So I would like to work with the city administrator to improve morale in that area. Let's set some clear objectives as far as the political body of how we would like for them to carry out their jobs. And I think that if we do that, we turn them loose, we're going to see some great things out of them. Let them be proactive. Let them go out there and do their jobs. I think that'll put them in a good spot. Right now, I personally don't see any real need to change the current department head situation. I've spoken frankly with Joe Patterson, the city administrator, and I said, let's see where we're at in a few months and let's see if we're working together. We have several people, as Kathy alluded to, that are coming up towards their retirement, so we need to be looking out towards those folks and making sure that we're succession planning to fill those seats.
Both candidates have the option for a follow-up.
Yeah, I would follow up on that. I'm interested in the term morale issue, and that people are having morale problems, and that department heads are I don't know what is meant by a morale problem. So maybe if you could define and explain exactly what was going on. A little bit more specifics on that. Generally, I will tell you that when I work with the city department heads, they are fabulous people, hardworking people, good people, doing an excellent job. And I've never picked up a morale issue, so maybe you can elaborate on that.
I can absolutely elaborate on that. Right after the last staff retreat, earlier this year, I sat down with some of those folks, and they were trying to look at how can we move forward. The Novak study's been holding things up. there hasn't been a real set, clear objective out there. So it's been slowing people down, and I think that there's been some frustration there. And I think that's what I'm talking about. There are several folks out there that are happy with the situation, but they feel like they could be doing more in their current positions if some clearer visions and objectives were put out there.
Thank you. At this time, I'll ask all candidates for Hastings Public School Board to please line up at the podium. And while you guys do that, we're going to go ahead and get to our next question with Carmen Montez directing her question to Corey Stutte.
Does Hastings need an anti-discrimination policy to protect the LGBT community? And also, what would be some of those things that would be included in that policy?
You know, I think we would have to take a look at the current discrimination policy. We'd have to talk to legal counsel, that's where the head is. I'm absolutely, I absolutely do not want to discriminate against anyone. I just know that there are some legal considerations out there. We've looked at that kind of on the public school board side as well. We need to make sure that we do these kinds of things right. We're not going outside of our bounds to do that. So absolutely there should be no discrimination in the city, but we need to do it in a legal matter that's not going to be challenged in courts eventually.
Well, several cities in Nebraska, many cities across the United States, as you know, have these policies, in several cities in Nebraska, so I'm sure there are templates available for us to address. We have not addressed that yet. I do think the time is coming that we must address those kinds of issues. We cannot and must not ever discriminate. We are an inclusive community. We are working hard to be a better and more inclusive community. There is an inclusion, a Hastings Inclusion Committee that several entities within this community belong to, and I happen to be one of the council representatives. And we're looking at ways to make sure that all minorities have a place and truly feel welcome and have a voice and have the power within this community that we haven't had. Our face of Hastings has changed. We're a different community than what we were 10 or 15 years ago, and we need to reflect that. So that absolutely needs to be addressed.
Follow-up? At this time, we will collect questions from the audience. If you have one, just hold it up in the air. We got a few in the back. I should also note that we are about to be ending our broadcast on NTV. You are more than welcome to go to our website, nebraska.tv. We will be streaming the entire debate. Also, you can tune into the radio, KHAS. You're welcome to do that as well. Let's now meet the candidates present for Hastings School Board. There are 9 running for 5 spots. Each will have 90 seconds to introduce themselves and hopefully not give feedback. And explain why they would like a spot on the school board. Time cues will be provided at 30 seconds and at 10 seconds. And if you see this, that means it's time to wrap up. And please hold your applause until the end of all introductions. You may begin.
Hi, my name is Aida Olivas, and I'm going to talk a little bit about how I came to Hastings. I came in 1995 from Mexico without English, nothing, zero, none. So I have 3 children, wonderful children. And when I moved from Mexico, I went to the school. They didn't have any bilingual staff, any teachers. I don't know if they had a ESL teacher. So my concern was how I'm gonna be able to help my kids if I don't know the language. That's why I started going to college, be a volunteer in Head Start full time. So, and I think to me it's very important to have a voice of the Latinos in the school system. And because I really want to run for the school board because I want to be the voice of those people that don't know the language. So, and also be for them. And I really want to improve the communication between the school system and the Latino community. Because the school is not just about white people, it's about diversity. And to me, it's very important to hear about the Latino, what are our concerns, and I'm here to help them, to be the voice of those people that cannot speak English. Do you have a question? Or wait for later?
Graves, and I'd just like to thank you for being here tonight. I'm a wife, business owner, community volunteer, but probably most importantly, a mom. My husband Danny and I have 2 amazing kids. Jackson's 11 and Madeline is 4. Jackson attended Longfellow Elementary and is currently a 6th grader at Hastings Middle School, and Madeline will start Longfellow in the fall. I grew up in a small town of Axtell where my dad served on the local school board for 16 years. Through him, I learned the importance of being involved in your children's education. I also learned how much dedication and time it takes to effectively serve as a school board member. For the past 6 years, I've been active on the Longfellow PTO, serving as the president and coordinating the school's biggest fundraisers. If elected, I'll fight for the following 4 things. First of all, our kids, period. Second of all, our teachers and staff. Without the best staff, the rest really doesn't matter. Third, our facilities, to ensure we have optimum learning environments. And fourth, our taxpayers, to make sure we're effectively using taxpayer money. Finally, I'd just like to ask for your vote on November 8th. If elected, I promise to do everything I possibly can to make sure that Hastings Public Schools are the very best that they can be. The children of our community, and my own kids included,